Today, we're gonna test out the adjustable bias binding foot. I've been wondering about this foot for a while, wondering if it really works with adjusting it for all the different sizes. So we are gonna put it to the test and try it out. I really think this foot's gonna come in handy when I'm creating my own custom bias binding because it's gonna handle any width that I create for my project. So there are other bias binding feet out there. There's this regular one, which basically does 1/4 inch binding. And then you're gonna see one that's called a quilt binder, which is going to do the wider bias binding for the edge of a quilt. Now, what if you want a different size though, that's not the narrow or the wide? Well, I think this is where that adjustable bias binding foot's going to come in handy. So the way this foot works is this little wheel right here. You are going to wind it. So there's a worn out W up here, which is wide, and for narrow. So if I want this wider for wider binding, I'm going to just keep rolling this back until I get it the width of my binding. And you can see this piece here is moving. So we can sew some really wide binding with this foot. So this foot here with these numbers is telling us that you can sew from 5 millimeters wide to 20 millimeters wide for the binding width. And that's the width of the binding when it's folded in and folded in half. That is going to be the finished measurement width of the binding. And if you want to learn more about bias binding and how to create your own to match your project, make sure you check out my links down below. I have a few videos all about that. Speaking about learning more about sewing, make sure you check out my online sewing academy. There'll be a link down below for that. And if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. So let's do it. Let's test out this foot. Today, I'm going to test out a wide piece of binding and a real narrow piece of binding, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use this foot and adjust it. To prep your binding for this foot, you want to make sure that the edges are ironed towards center, and then you have ironed it in half one more time for your final width. Once you have that ironed, we're going to insert it into the foot. I always like to make sure that the foot is wider than I need it before I start so I can get this in real easy. So when I'm inserting this, I need the bottom of the binding to be below this groove and the top of the binding to be above that groove there. So we've got it folded and we're just gonna make sure that when we insert it, it's wrapping around those folds. Now you're going to notice there's another opening in the middle, and that's because we're going to fit our fabric into that little opening there that we're attaching the binding to. Now that I have the binding inserted, I want to make sure it's going to fit in the foot. So I'm going to take this little screw here and I'm going to wind it until my binding is fitting nicely in this other little groove over here. And it's going to hold it in place while we're putting the binding on. So now you can see that it's cupped around that folded edge and that these two little folded edges are fitting in these grooves over here. So now my binding is nice and secure in the foot. So now I'm going to insert my fabric right into that opening in the foot. There we go. Line it up where you need it. Make sure it's pushed all the way in. You can't see it, but you're just gonna have to feel it. You can also lift up the binding and make sure your fabric's all the way in there. Now we're gonna put down the foot. We're ready to go. And as you're doing this, you just need to make sure that your fabric is in that binding there. Don't let go of it. We have attached some binding. Let's take a look at it on both sides. So you can see we have that nice stitch right at the edge here, 1/8 of an inch away. And if I flip it over to the back side, we also have a nice stitch about 1/8 of an inch away. So I would say this foot works really nice. But let's see if it can handle that thinner binding the same way it does the thicker. We're going to insert the narrow binding the same way, making sure it's around those two little lips there. And then we're going to take the wheel and move it towards end for narrow. That's also going to help push the binding over there into those lips. And we don't want to make it too tight. We want to make sure that it's still able to move. Okay. And when you have it right where you want it, then we can insert the fabric. Now the narrow one is a little bit trickier to make sure it's all the way over there on the edge. Sometimes I like to make sure I got it all the way into the back and that it's fitting nicely in those little creases. I am going to narrow this just a little bit more now. Now we're ready to put the fabric in. So we're going to insert our fabric the same way. I always like to get it into the little crease of a foot that I'm working with. I am holding it in the back, making sure it's all the way in there. And now I can pull it down and line it up with the edge of that binding here in the back. And when you have it positioned right where you would like it, put down your foot. Now this one's a little trickier because we are not working with much fabric on the binding. So you really have to make sure it's in the binding here at the center. Otherwise, it's going to fall off the edge of the fabric. And if your binding's ever stuck in the beginning, mine wasn't just stuck, but you can always take your thread from the top and give it a little pull. Or if you have an extra tail of binding, give it a little pull to get it running through the machine. I'm just going to run this all the way off the end and close these two pieces of binding together so we can take a look at it. So let's check that narrow binding out. So you can see that we have the stitch right on the edge of the binding on this side, and if I flip it over, we do on the back as well. And the nice thing is that it's catching both sides basically even, which is what we're looking for in a foot. And then if we go over here and take a look at just the binding being sewn in half, which is great for creating little loops and decorations and things like that. You can see that it looks great on both sides, and it has caught the binding on both sides with no gaps or holes. I also think this foot is going to be great for keeping that binding nice and even on both sides. You know you've sewn some binding before on a foot, and the bottom one either slips away or out from it, and then you flip it over and they're not even on both sides. That drives me crazy. But I think the way this foot is designed, that is not going to happen. In conclusion, I think this foot is really cool. It worked really well with the different widths of the binding, and it kept it even on both sides, which is just a game changer for sewing on binding. And the fabric stayed in the middle of it, really nice. And when I went off the edge on the binding, just to make a little binding cord, that worked really well too. So next time I need to bias bind something, I'm definitely going to be using this foot. And if you want to buy this bias binding foot, I'll put a link for it down below in the description. Let me know what you think of this bias binding foot. Have you tried it yet? Are you going to try it? Is bias binding your thing? Do you love bias binding? Do you bias bind all of your seams, or is bias binding new to you? Leave your bias binding tips and experiences down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. If you have any questions, leave it down below in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you like and subscribe to Sewing Anastasia. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when the new videos come out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. These videos are for you guys. And if you have suggestions for videos, leave those down below in the comments too. And if you're in Chicago, come on into the design studio and take some sewing classes with me. And if you're not, make sure you check out my online sewing school. There's links for both of those down below. And don't forget about the sewing club with the Discord. Check that out down below as well. And if you guys don't follow me on Instagram yet, make sure you do, because I'm always posting behind the scenes of what's going on in the studio in my Instagram stories. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!